All right, let's look at some of your problems you were supposed to do last night. The first one we're going to look at is dividing polynomials by a monomial. And we're going to do the check your understanding was the one that I left for you to do. And when you left class, we had the top is 18x squared y plus 27x to the third y squared z. And we talked about that negative exponent in the original problem. We make it positive by bringing it to the bottom. Then what we do is we just split it up. It's going to be 18x squared y. We're going to divide that by 3xy. Plus, we're going to take 27x cubed y squared z. We're going to divide that by 3xy. Now we simplify. 18 and 3 are both divisible by 3. So we have a 6. X squared and x to the first on the bottom leaves us with 1x on the top. The y's cancel. Plus 27 and 3 are both divisible by 9. I have 3 x's on top, 1 x on bottom, so I'm going to subtract them. 3 minus 1 gives me x squared. I have y squared on top, y on bottom. Subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. And then I have that z, which I can't combine with anything. And the second thing we talked about yesterday was long division. And I left you with the check your understanding. And that was going to be x squared minus 13x plus 12. And we're going to divide it by x minus 1. When we do long division, the x minus 1 will go outside our division symbol, and inside will be the x squared minus 13x plus 12. Then remember, we want to know how many times will x divide into this first term. And x squared divided by x, that's an x. Then I'm going to take the x and multiply each one of these by x. So that's x squared minus 1x. Change the signs, and we add. This is a negative 12x plus 12. Bring the 12 down. Then I want to know, well, how many times will x divide into 12x? Well, that's a minus 12. So I'm going to go minus 12. And now I take the negative 12 and multiply both of these by negative 12. So that's negative 12x. Negative 1 times negative 12 is a positive 12. Change the signs and add straight down, we get 0. So our answer is x minus 12. Then we worked through example A for the third one, which was synthetic division. we started C, which was 6x to the fourth minus 8x cubed plus 12x minus 14, and we want that to be divided by x minus 2. So remember, we are backwards L, and inside our backwards L is going to be the opposite of whatever's here, which is a positive 2. Then we list our coefficients. Well, I have x to the 4, so that's a 6. X to the third, that's negative 8. I'm missing an x squared. There's no x squared, so we have to represent it down here with a 0. Every power from 4 down has to be represented down here. And then there's the x, which is plus 12, and there's the negative 14. And first thing we do is we drop the 6. 2 times 6 is 12. We add them together, which gives us 4. Then 2 times 4 is 8. Add them together, we get 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Add them together, we get 28. And then remember, draw a line, and 2 times 28 is negative 56. Add them together, we get a negative 70. So our answer, and then these go down by 1. So we had an x to the 4th, so this is going to be the third, the second, the first, and then the constant. So our answer is going to be 6x cubed plus 4x squared plus 8x plus 28 with a remainder of negative 70. B from the notes was 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x plus 15, and we wanted to divide that by x plus 3. So for synthetic division in the backwards L, it's going to be the opposite of what's here, which is a negative 3. And then we list, we have a cubed, a squared, a 1, first power, and no power, so we don't have to fill in any zeros. So we've got 2, 3, negative 4, and 15. Drop the 2 down, and now multiply. 3 times 2 is negative 6. Add them up. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Add them up. Remember, our last number is going to be our remainder. And negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Add them up, we get 0. So our answer, we started with a cubed, so this is going to go down 1, so that's a squared, an x, and our constant. So it's 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. Okay, let's look at D. D was 3x to the 4th minus 5x cubed plus x squared plus 7x, and we're going to divide it by 3x plus 1. Remember, when we do synthetic division, this must be 1. So what I need to do before I can do this synthetic division is I need to make it a 1 by dividing by 3. And so this is going to be divisible by x plus 1/3. So outside, in our L, it's going to be a negative 1/3. Then across the top, we have a 4, then a 3, then the 2, the exponent, then we have a 7, but we don't have a constant, so we have to put a 0 there. So 3, -5, 1, 7. Remember this last one here, when we add them up, it's going to be our remainder. So drop the 3 down. 1/3 times 3 is -1. Add them up, we get -6. 1/3 times -6 is 2. Add them up, we get 3. -1/3 times 3 is -1. Add them up, we get 6. And -1/3 times 6 is a -2. Add them up, we get -2. So our answer is going to be 3x to the 3rd minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 6, remainder -2. And now let's do the check your understanding A. Well, it's 3x to the 4th minus 6x cubed minus 9x squared plus 3x minus 6 divided by x plus 3. So -3 on the outside, and then 3, -6, -9, 3, and -6. This is going to be our remainder right here. Drop the 3. -3 times 3 is -9. Add them up, we get a -15. -3 times -15 is 45. Add them up, we get 36. -3 times 36 is 18, -108. Add them up, we get -105. -105 times -3 is 315. Add them up, we get 309. So it's 3x cubed minus 15x squared plus 36x minus 105 with a remainder of 309. And then let's look at the last one. C, check your B, check your understanding. We've got x to the 5th minus 3x squared minus 20. And that needs to be divided by x minus 2. Now I'm missing some. I have x to the 5th. I don't have an x to the 4th. I don't have an x to the 3rd. And I don't have an x. So when I get to those spots down here, I need to put zeros. So 2, and then coefficients 1, 0, 0, -3, 0 from this here, and then -20. Drop your 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Add them up. 2 times 2 is 4. Add them up. 2 times 4 is 8. Add them up. 2 times 5 is 10, add them up, and 2 times 10 is positive 20, add them up. So our answer, and we start with the fifth, so this is going to be the fourth, the third, the second, the first. Our constant is going to be x to the fourth plus 2x cubed plus 4x squared plus 5x plus 10.